Hey everybody, I've just returned from Dallas to see the world premiere production of the new opera that we'll be presenting this season here at San Diego Opera, Great Scott, by Jake Heggie and Terrence MacNally. And what a production it is, with a stellar cast headlined by Joyce DiDonato, Nathan Gunn, Frederica Fonstada, Eileen Perez, and Anthony Roth Costanzo, all under the direction of Jack O'Brien, and conducted by Patrick Summers. It was a truly glorious first outing for this fascinating opera. I almost hesitate to call it an opera, even though it's entirely sung throughout, because it's a real theater piece. People who are used to shows on a theatrical stage, like musicals or dramas, comedies, they'll be drawn to this opera because of its eclectic, dramatic, and musical approach. And audience members who love opera will enjoy it as well, because they'll see and hear a lot on the stage that they'll recognize and be able to react to. Why? Because this is an opera about opera. Everyone involved in the creation of this opera, MacNally, Heggie, O'Brien, the cast and crew, they all love the art form that we call opera. They aren't afraid to poke gentle fun at some of the more outrageous traditions of the art form, and at the same time, they're absolutely confident in celebrating the things that make opera great. As you know from my last podcast about Great Scott, the story is basically about an internationally renowned singer, Arden Scott, who's been asked to come home and help save the opera company that gave her her start in the business. She brings with her a 19th century bel canto opera, Rosa Dolorosa, Figlia di Pompei. This is something she discovered under a stack of manuscripts in a St. Petersburg Russian library, hoping that this rarity, along with her star power, will help the company out of a financial hole. Coming home, however, has its challenges. She encounters her former high school sweetheart, and both of them being unattached at the moment, they face the possibility of picking up where they left off. She also encounters an ambitious young Russian singer, a singer that she herself discovered, nipping at the heels of her career and challenging her at every turn. Her revival of a 250-year-old opera brings its own challenges. Is that opera relevant to the world today? Or is it a museum piece? Will audiences follow her as she starts singing newer pieces, newer operas that have a contemporary sound? Indeed, the entire cast and crew of Rosa Dolorosa, that old opera, is faced with answering this question for themselves and questioning the very future of what they do. So, what is this opera about? Well, in a word, relationships. And isn't every opera, in fact every drama, comedy, movie, theater piece in the world, is about relationships? Certainly the story is about Arden's relationship to Sid, her old boyfriend, and to Tatiana Bakst, that young upstart Russian singer, and to her colleagues in the creation of Rosa. But it's also about her relationship with the audience, and in a way, that's us, the people who will be sitting in the theater enjoying this opera together. How do we look at our own careers as we get older and find that the challenges are more difficult as we reach a certain age? What are the possibilities of love for each and every one of us? More broadly, what is our relationship to art? What is our relationship to the people who make art? And what is our responsibility to them as an audience? These are important questions, and in this opera they're dealt with in dramatic, comedic, and musical ways that I think make an important statement about our world. What's the music like? Well, like Heggie's previous opera, Moby Dick, he uses a style of music that is melodic in the best possible sense, challenging when it needs to be, nostalgic and touched with sentiment at just the right moments, as well as extraordinarily clever in its depictions of the sound world of that 200-year-old opera, Rosa Dolorosa. The composer uses the conventions of early 19th century opera in order to tweak it, have some fun with it. If you listen to any serious Rossini, Bellini, or Donizetti opera for more than 5 minutes, you'll get the joke. Our singer, Arden Scott, in the role of Rosa, sings cavatinas, caballettas, outrageous coloratura passages, and impossible cadenzas, all in the spirit of those old composers, as a way of showing the challenges to Arden's voice at this particular point in her career. No wonder she's torn between something she wants to continue to do and settling down into domestic life with someone she really loves. Now, we might not all be opera singers, but we all have to meet challenges in our lives. And sometimes those challenges are just a little bit more than we can bear. And sometimes they're about the relationships that we find ourselves in. I think anybody who's been through all that will especially be able to enjoy Great Scott. I know I did. This is Nick Ravellis, and I'll see you at the opera. You know, we might not all be opera singers, but we all have to meet challenges in our lives. And sometimes those challenges are just a little bit more than we can bear. I think anybody who's been through that will be able to enjoy Great Scott. I know I did. This is Nick Ravellis, and I'll see you at the opera.